yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. A day for them to see. Just like a wind, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
All right, guys, let's get this party started. If you want a reading, be sure to visit my stand store. It's in the description below. And as always, we have a disclaimer. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share the video if you like it. Let's get it going. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I've been sick. You may can still hear it. It's echoing. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can figure that out. Hold on. Echoing. What about now? Am I still echoing? It's not that it's not now.
Oh, okay, okay. It could be because I shared my whole screen and the audio. Let me try it again. Let's not share my screen with audio. Okay. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I am your host, astrologer Jennifer Jennings. I appreciate you guys being here this morning so I can talk out the transits, talk about some of these cases that are dear to our heart. I was hoarse for a while, so that's the reason why I didn't go live and just did some posts. Wasn't feeling good at all. Jeff was a sweetheart, took care of me last 5 days. It was, whew, it was rough. And I'm still not 100%, but I'm on the I'm on the come up. On the come up. While I was not feeling good, I did start working on more on the Dickus murders. They in 2006, a stepmother and her stepson were brutally unalived. And mapping can not just show us about the missing, but it can also point us to where a fugitive could be, somebody that we're looking for. So I've been working on that, and I have my own theories, of course. And it was interesting too, because anytime I work, I'm always learning. That's the beauty of astrology is you can always learn something new. It's not mundane. It's not scientifically patterned. Some things are, but it was the first time that I'd actually seen Zeus be a contributing factor to someone's unaliving, which was interesting because I'd not seen that before. And if I have, I don't remember. And Zeus, I want to show you what Zeus is. Zeus is our magnetism. And there was a magnetism with the law with China Dickus the day that she was unalived with her stepson. It was pretty wild to see that. It was the same degree, and it was in transit the whole day. So again, astrology is a great tool to use for self-healing, to understand things that happen that we just don't understand why things happen the way that they do, why patterns seem to show up in our life over and over and over again. Today, I'm seeing a lot. I'm still seeing that there is a expansion here with Jupiter. Jupiter is at a hard station. You see this red S? That red S is a station. It first becomes an S that is black, and then the S gets more intense and it turns red. So the stationing is really, really intense on the Marshalls, relationships with the state of Tennessee and the law. Not only the law, but Jupiter also represents quick movement of travel in the skies. And we know that there was a helicopter crash. The Vanderbilt Life Flight crashed, and unfortunately, people lost their life. That degree is where the United States Marshals connects to the state of Tennessee. I hypothesize that there would be things going on in Memphis. The lunar nodes have just come over the same degree as the United States Saturn. There's Saturn in the 10th house. It's about government. The government shut down. So we're having limits and obstacles still. And I want you to know that in December, Saturn is going to station at the same degree. Remember when I've told you that these degrees will piggyback one another? Well, that's exactly what's happening. Is in December, that's going to be the same degree of Saturn. When Saturn stations, because right now you see that Saturn is in retrograde, but Saturn is going to station to move forward. And when it does, Saturn is going to station at the same exact degree, 2509. So we will revisit whatever is going to be taking place as Jupiter stations. We are going to revisit that with Saturn. I can see that there is a lot of disordered aggression with the FBI right now, with other people's money, things that are hidden. I also see a lot coming for Cuba, Venezuela, and the U.S. Gerald, let's see, what was it? What was the, and you know, Jeff, it didn't save my, I created a chart for the Navy ship that's going out into the Caribbean, the Gerald Ford Navy ship. That's going to be involved in a lot of stuff come the end of November, November 27th through the 30th. Black Friday looks really intense. I want to say it's Black Friday. Let me look and see if that's when it is. It's actually Black Friday is when this is going to station. Hold on, let me look. I was looking at it last night and I was like, dang, that's some serious stuff. Let's see. November 28th. That's Black Friday. Yes. So do you see what I'm talking about? Saturn is going to station at that same degree, that 2509. And look at this. I want to show you something else too, because this is wild. This is wild. It's going to be an intense day. Y'all can mark this on your calendars. Again, my voice is, sorry guys, but it's bad. I've been really sick. No fever, but man, take it back. What I want to show you is that Venus and the dark moon is going to station at a 2732, which is going to hit the United States relationships and partnerships with money, disordered aggression, like a blackout. And this 2046 is going to the TBI. It's also going to Sebastian, his connection with the TBI. And it's also going to that ship. Okay, we've got, this is big. The ship chart, because we can see when it was commissioned. I can see when the ship that's in the, going into the Caribbean, I can see when it was commissioned, and that commission day shows the North Node at a 1355 in Pisces at the same exact degree as the ship's Neptune in the 6th house. What does that mean? There's things going on with the health of that ship. That's what that means. It's going to be big. This is a big day for the United States of America. It's a big day for the Marshals, for the state of Tennessee, and for Cuba, for relationships that are hidden, because there's Juno right next to Mars. They're in conversation. Exact degree right here. They're going to be in conversation with the United States. Pluto in the 2nd house of their values. This is big. I can see Florida. Florida's coming into transit. 1644. Poseidon is coming to that 1644. This is a big day. And today what is taking place today and tomorrow is going to be leading us into the end of November. I'm telling you, this is big, big, big. Cuba, Venezuela, Florida, the seas. This grand trine, this grand water trine, it sounds great. You know, other astrologers are like, this is a perfect opportunity. And it is a good opportunity for any type of spiritual, intuitive, nirvana type of behavior. Very intuitive, but it's also setting the stage for things to happen in the sea, whether it be earthquakes and tsunamis to ships. There's things that I just don't understand that is coming, but what I'm thinking is going to come is that ship out at sea, the Navy. This is going to set a stage for warring. Lots of warring. Missiles. Sinking. I don't know. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it doesn't end in the way that I'm thinking that it could. Because that sixth house is going to be in transit with the North Node. And Saturn is going to be stationing at the same exact degree with Jupiter today. I definitely see the ship. And I can't find the ship now because my software, since I got a new computer, it's not saving new charts. So that's a problem, major problem. But I wanted to also talk about the cases that I've been working on, Summer Wells and Sebastian's, because they are also in transit, and they will be. This is a good time period also for the state of Tennessee to get some act right with their investigations, to push forward with any new information or old information that they have that they can bring to the DA. Summer, yeah, let me look again. I don't think that I've got that ship. I don't think it's saved. Dang it. It did not. But I can easily bring it up again. I hate that it's not saving my charts. So any charts that I'm creating they're not being saved. I'm just going to have to figure that one out. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I've got to figure that out. I'm sure it's some type of technical shit that I got to figure out. But anyway, I want to look at Summer. I want to show you when she went missing. Okay. I want to show you when she went missing, June 15th, 2021. Let me take off some of these points first. Let me just show you the planets, because this is where we're going to start, is the planets first. I have that she goes missing at 4:30. The call is 2 hours later. Call in at 6:30. So I have, and this is easy. Okay, this is going to be really easy. You don't see all that other stuff, right? It's going to be really easy to try to understand the astrology. So first things is first, right? 4:30. This is when someone hears a car, right? There's the car. Mars is a vehicle or a body, and it's in the 9th house. There it is. Mars and Jupiter are opposing one another. I'm sorry, no, they're not. Mars and Jupiter are at a quincunx. And this is a very intense energy with a quincunx. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 9th house, where mom is, where the pleasures are. She's going to her mother's camper, right? She's going to the mom's camper. There's the vehicle. And we've got Jupiter. Here in the 4th house of home is where there's limits and obstacles, okay? There's limits and obstacles. With groups and for the future, because Aquarius is about future. It's not just about groups. It's about the future. There's going to be limits and obstacles with the dad or an older man or a group, because Saturn is in Aquarius. And you can see that Saturn is squaring up with Uranus. Uranus is here. So there's a square. What is a square? A square is a challenge. She was challenged with a shakeup in the woods with a relationship. That's what I see. At 4:30, we're rising with things that are hidden. Scorpio is hiding. You have to go beneath the surface to get there. So the ascendant is in Scorpio. The ascendant is squaring Mars. So we're rising with a challenge here. Where does Mars go to? If you know the case of Summer Wells, you can already tell me without even seeing the map or the card where that line is going to go. It's going over Jody Sue's house. Right? Didn't Jody Sue say that she heard? Let me get me some water. Hold on. Jody Sue is the one that said that she heard the vehicle. This is a higher learning right here. We're in a higher learning. We're learning about mom and pleasure and money. We are learning about mom going to the camper. That's the home. We are learning about a vehicle. And without knowing how to map, you can say the vehicle, all the attention on that vehicle is going over Jody Sue's home. Okay, with that information, we can see why there's a quincunx with Jupiter. Major challenge, almost a fated challenge. Mars is opposing Pluto here, this opposition. So Mars is in an opposition. This is about communications. Woods, older male. Major transformation with siblings. Communications with mom saying, hey, you know, mom saying, hey, watch the kid. Watch Summer, watch your sister. Right? Because Pluto and Mars are in an opposition. Because there's a vehicle. Or if there's not a vehicle, there's an accident. There's an accident. Jody Sue also said that she heard a scream. Is the scream the accident or a vehicle? Well, it's challenging, right? It's challenging the law. It's challenging an expansion with drunkenness, addiction. That's what Pisces is showing us. There's an expansion here with that behavior with Jupiter in Pisces could also be an expansion with religion, charity. So we have challenges here when it comes to Summer's disappearance. Okay, we have major challenges. The Sun in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini here in the 8th house, we've got two people. We've got siblings in the communication. We've got two or more. The sun is shining on these two or siblings, right? The sun is shining on the mind, the neighborhood. And the sun is squaring up with Jupiter. There's people that are hidden here. There's something that is hidden in this 8th house. There's two or more. There's communications that are hidden. And the moon is opposing Jupiter. So we have the moon here. This is mom. A reflection here. We are reflecting with the child. All attention is on mom, work, where she's been. The moon is at a quincunx right here to Pluto. There's a lot going on here, and I haven't even brought in any of the asteroids. But Saturn is definitely opposing the midheaven at this moment. This right here, when mapped, is the lowest point for the TBI. It's the vehicle and the screen. Jody Sue. That is the lowest point for the TBI. Did she really hear what she heard? You know? Did she really hear it? Then we have Neptune. Neptune here in the 5th house of kids. Neptune in Pisces is ruling this chart. It's ruling it. Neptune and Mercury. Because Neptune is in its own sign. Neptune is in its own sign with Pisces. Mercury is in its own sign with Gemini. So I'm looking to those two. I'm looking to Mercury and Neptune. And you can see that Neptune and Mercury are making no aspect. There's nothing here. So I like that angle. And if we look on Summer's map for that angle for Neptune, let's look at it. Let me pull up Summer. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry if you hear me eating on a cough drop. It's because I've been sick for the last week and I'm just now coming up here on the come up. So let me take off everything and I'm going to show you guys. Go ahead and put this in here. We're going to look at these. Because I want to show you Jupiter. Oh, let me, hold on. Let me take it out. We've got Jupiter. So I'll leave Jupiter in there just because Jupiter is in the 4th house of home and we want to look at that. I want to look at Saturn. And I want to look at Neptune. I want to look at Mercury. Let's see, where is Mercury? Mercury is in Gemini. There it is. It's with a relationship, okay? Let's see. Okay, so here on the map, here's Neptune. This one is Neptune. This one is Jupiter. This one is Saturn. Okay? And I've got Gemini is here. So this is the Mercury going this way. And here's the Mars. Okay. Now, that Mars, like I said, is going to go over Jody Sue's. You don't even have to know. All I have to do is tell you that Mars is going to rule either the accident, the body, a head wound, right, or a vehicle. And it's Jody Sue that heard the vehicle. She heard a scream. It's going to express itself accurately because maps aren't going to lie. This is the lowest point for the TBI, okay? Their lowest point about the child, about the vehicle, with all that attention, is going this way. But the quincunx with Jupiter in the 4th house of home, that could be a resting place, as well as Neptune and Saturn. We're going this way. We're going up around Simpson Loop. Let me go ahead and turn on addresses. Oh, I've got them on. I've got Barrett Cemetery here. That would be the Neptune. That Neptune that's in the 5th house. I've marked a cemetery there. And then I've got the Arnold brothers. But I also have Sherfy as well, Don Sherfy Jr. Because I continuously see him over and over and over. Every time Summer comes into transit, I see Sherfy Jr. And you can't just unsee that. So that's the reason why I brought him in. This is his Mercury in Pisces that is conjunct the dark moon in Pisces. He has disordered aggression when it comes to addiction, things of the past with prisons and hospitals, right? And he is, he's going to spend most of his life behind bars because unfortunately he loves little kids too much. This is a landfill in Churchill. That landfill, this is where Jupiter is. That's in that fourth house of home that is in a quincunx with Mars going over Jody Sue's home. The Arnolds, that's who we are going up against here. There's Hammonds. There's a Hammonds. We can go on up. And you can see that David Dotson past address in Texas. That's the Mercury in Gemini that is opposing a relationship. That relationship is David Dotson. I just wanted to show you again how we can work the maps. It's very, very time consuming, right? And you have to know the players involved. And the players involved are, I've got 263 addresses on this map. Let's look at this relationship that is opposing the communications here. We have an opposition here. The relationship that is going far is going that way. This relationship that is going far with possible religion is going that way, because we should find a church, a relationship here that's church worthy, right? There's Morrison Cemetery Road. Well, there's a river. We could also see that that Sag could be a river. Let's look at that for a second, because there's a relationship that's opposing her with communications in the breath. Got a lot of addresses around here. Let's look at the natal, see if the natal shows up. The natal does show up. Let me turn that off. Let's see if Tennessee, TBI, there's Sharpie again. There's her father. Don's Mercury is in Sagittarius. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere, because the Mercury during the missing event is in its own sign, Gemini. But Don's Mercury is in Sagittarius. That means that the Sun and Mercury that were in conversation in that 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, hidden sex, is opposing him. He was having a major challenge with his mental health, with the way that he was communicating, the way that he was thinking with two people. Could be his siblings, but I don't think so. I think it was two people that he was talking to. And if you go back and you listen to any of my old videos, as a matter of fact, I think I'll upload one today for members only, and a short, one of my first ones that I did. On TikTok about summer, because you'll see that this hasn't just been a theory that has just come up or just thought of, you know. I mean, it's easy to understand why anybody would think that this theory that she was sold But there is an opposition here, and it's squaring Uranus in Virgo. So I want to look at that. But first I want to see what natal is showing us here. So, okay, so this is where information comes in about the long travel, about possibly a river, but remember, we are going all the way to David Dotson's in Texas. And Don definitely connects to Texas. I'm just saying. I can show you in his chart, no matter what time he's born. He connects to Texas all day, every day. With the law, with relationships, with contracts. So we have a relationship, but this is where her natal Saturn conjunct Moon are. She has limits and obstacles going this way. Do you know why she has limits and obstacles going this way? Because her father, the people that he was associated with, the people that he talked to, so not only was his Mercury being opposed, Don's Mercury, that is, that day, but so was her Saturn. So was her Moon. Mercury and the Sun were opposing her Saturn and then her Moon. Her mom and dad. The Sun was shining on things that are hidden with communications. And those communications that are hidden, like I said, we could be looking at a church affiliation, like a cult. We could be looking at a river. I know that by looking at their charts, it was days prior. Don was having money problems. Don was having major money problems. And we have to ask ourselves how he was able to afford some of the things that he did afford. If there wasn't anything else involved or anybody else involved. There's Ronnie Lawson, Brandon. I mean, I've got all kinds of people. And you know, all the people that have been searching for Summer, not one of them has asked to try to help find her using the map. Shauna, are you still in here? Because I want to jump to something real quick and show you guys how maps can work in such a phenomenal way. We already know that the vehicle going over Jody's house it's not by coincidence. Okay? It's not by coincidence. When Summer went missing, there's the car. There's the scream, there's the accident, what have you. Summer there was an emotional explosion at home where she receives a wake-up call in the future. And guess what? That would be the scream that Jody Sue heard. Vulcanus, if you think of a volcano, that's all you got to do is think of volcano, Vulcanus. There's an explosion, right? But instead of it being fire, it's emotion. Lots of emotion with Cancer. Vulcanus in Cancer is emotions of home. A wake-up call for the future. her future was on the line. Summer's was. And there were things that took place at home. Was there an accident? Was Dawn coming up the drive and something happened? Was somebody coming up the drive and something happened to Summer? Were they intoxicated? You know, there's a lot of ways that this can express itself, but we look at the players. Let's look at Fred Hill. Let's look at Fred and where his home is on Ben Hill Road. This is where the natal, she has her lowest point at home here. Her lowest point at home is going toward Fred's house. So we have to ask ourselves what Fred heard, what he saw, and that's a good thing, right? That we are understanding a little bit more about what Fred may have seen or heard. Actually, this is where she meets her midheaven, not her lowest point. I'm sorry. Let's look at the missing now. This is where the moon was going with the IC in Leo. That's right. So this is the lowest point. So the lowest point is coming here and it's opposing her midheaven. So she can't reach that midheaven because she has a low point during the missing event. There's a lot of things that are coming here that have been based on the past with health. The Hygeia in Leo is showing, here's the health, but Saturn is opposing the health. Saturn is opposing the health, and it's squaring Uranus. And we saw that Dawn I'm still going that way. I'm still going that way. I don't understand. I want to go this way too to find Summer. And if I'm not making any sense, guys, I'm just trying to figure this out. Hold on. Hold on. Still want, so his sun in Sagittarius. And all of that was going in Gemini. That's Daniel Chambers. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Hold on. This is where he's devouring communications going this way. Let me turn off that missing again. Hold on. Because I just want to look at this. So that relationship, Chambers. Mercury and Gemini. Let's go back. The Mercury and Gemini was in good standing with Saturn. Is in good standing with Saturn. So we've got this one. Hold on, let me turn off the natal one more time. Just follow me. Hold on. Let me work this out. So we've got Mercury and Gemini. So we got Mercury. It's in a good standing with Venus. It's only in a semi-square to Mars. So this is, it would have been easy. You see what I'm saying? It's easy for two people It's in a good standing with Saturn for careful plans. Okay, so let's look at that. And then Saturn was square to Uranus. Let me turn off Dawn. Now let's turn on the TBI. Okay, so TBI is going both. Let's look at Tennessee. Tennessee is both. But where's the fifth house of kids for Tennessee? Right here. Right here. That's the fifth house. All right, so let's look at the TBI. Things of the past. Yeah, I've already looked at this. So I'm still thinking the same. Okay, I'm still thinking the same, that the sixth house of health or the Saturn. So let me turn that one off. I still like that one. I don't want that one anymore. I like these two squares. Okay. And what I'm going to do, okay, Shauna, I'm going to show you something, because what I found, you know, when I was looking at the Dickus map, I noticed that Zeus was a key player in that event. It was the player. There was a magnetism with the law with China. That I wanted to teach. I want to use that to teach. So we've got Barrett Cemetery that I've got, because I'm just going to look at the lines here where Sherfy Sr. worked at the Churchill Rescue Squad. Okay. Okay. Now we're cooking. We're cooking with some gas right now. And let me tell you why. It's because the Neptune in Pisces that was at the fourth house of home, this Neptune in Pisces is definitely could be the charity, the rescue squad of Sherfy Sr. Maps are, we have to have addresses. Calton, what is that? Hold on. Let's look at this one. Missing Neptune is squaring the sun. The sun is shining on Edinburgh Park. And again, we have a Hammonds here. So we've got the Hammonds. That's the two, right? The brothers. Right? The brothers. Let's keep going. Where Senior worked. There's a Hammonds. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we've got Sherfy Sr. That could definitely be for that Neptune. Neptune is about charity. The Neptune ruling the water of the fire hall, right? But then we have Hammonds and Hammonds on this line. So we've got a Hammonds on this line, Hammonds on this line, and that's where I'm going. So we've got the Hammonds. And yes, I do have their charts. Neptune being in the fifth house, I'm not sure that that's where we would find summer. I think that that too could have taken her, and then this is where we could find Summer. Let's go back. Let's go back down. So, of course, we have the Morrison Cemetery. We've got Light Cemetery. Oh, let me go a little bit further. There's a bust. The West Side Inn, that's been torn down. Ernie Shell. No. So I like myself, and I think yeah, West Side Inn has been torn down. So we've got the river. Uranus and Taurus, if I were to look for Summer on this line, I definitely wouldn't be. Let's look at the FBI here. Let's go closer in. Okay, so we do see Sherfy. We do see the TBI. Tennessee. Netherland Inn Road. I would be looking for her. If I was looking for her here, I would be looking for her not contained and not in the river, but in the woods. She hasn't been found yet, so there's the Arnold, there's another Arnold, there's another Hammonds. Okay. Oh, another Hammonds. Okay. Let me go back. And let's look at this one. Here's the FBI, Fifth House of Kids. We got FBI, Fifth House of Kids. Tennessee, TBI. Tennessee is really, I don't know that I like this one. Okay, so we're not going to go with that one. I like this one. And I still do. I mean, there is, it's either going to be here or here. Tennessee doesn't do good with relationships going this way. Going this way. They do not do good going that way. And Tennessee is, let me put that up. Don's mom's burial place. So where Don's mom is buried, let's just kind of look at this. There's the natal. She descends here with relationships. There's the TBI. There's Sharfie Jr. There's Dawn. There's Grandis. FBI. I'm still at the same place. This is where I've been. So I'm still going this way, guys. I'm still going this way to find Summer. Rose. So the Uranus and Taurus in the 7th house of relationships. That's squaring Saturn. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going to find summer. So I like the cemeteries still. And I do have hot spots that are going to ride this. I've ridden it. I've ridden the whole line. So that's summer. And let me just talk about, yeah, let me show you something, Shauna, while you're on here to help you understand. So the 4th house of home, this is the Dickus murders that took place in 2006 in Franklin, Indiana. This is the map that I've started. And I want to show this is the final resting place for little Blake. And the 4th house of home series, this is the reason why I say, okay, that series is about church, religion. It's a lot of energy that goes to series. And if I'm looking on a series line, I want to look for something religious related. The reason why some astrologers will say that the 4th house of home can show the final resting place is because it can, but not always does it. That's the problem. Not always does it, but this is his final resting place. Ceres represents religion. Final resting place at a cemetery is seen here. There's a quincunx to Mercury, two or more, right? Mercury was in the 9th house. The 9th house is also about religion, philosophy, long travels, foreigners. It could represent grandparents. But we learned something on this angle with little Blake. And the other thing that I wanted to show you real quick, let me turn on the lowest point, not the lowest point, but the Chiron for little Blake, who was just 10 years old, is going here on Fiesta Drive, where Sean moved to. That's where his Chiron is. But there is a good chance that eventually, and it may not be that long, his case is going to be solved. I'm really into this one, Anna. So let me go back. Nobody else is going to understand what we're talking about. So let me go back to Sebastian's map. Let's look at Sebastian's for a second. Let's go back. Because I truly think that when we look at it, when we look at these missing events and different perspectives without thinking that we know what happened, see, that's where the law enforcement gets messed up from the flow up. They think that they already have it figured out and they're waiting on that information. But what if they don't, right? Let's look at it from, because we don't know what time he went missing in the middle of the night. Let's look at it from the Texas Roadhouse, because we can really look at it Let me see. I think it was 520, 624.47. There it is. Okay. Let me go back to the other map from the roadhouse. Okay. Now, from the roadhouse, let's look at it. Let's look at the challenges that Sebastian faced when he left the roadhouse. Okay. So we have the event as he leaves, as they leave the roadhouse, we are rising in Virgo. Katie shines here. This is where Katie is shining in the 12th house. She has a 0-0 sun no matter what time she's born. So her sun hasn't made it here just yet. But we have the moon. We have the moon on the ascendant. Okay. The moon on the ascendant. It says the moon is placed in the first house of your birth chart, suggesting that changing fortunes are likely to occur. You will experience a strong link between the emotions and the body, needing for perfection. There's a perfectionist here that we're rising with. So we are rising with a changing of fortune. And the ascendant is trining Uranus. There's a trine with Uranus. Uranus is here in the 9th house. So there's a good standing with the group. But here's the thing. The 1928 degree, it matches the state of Tennessee's Sedna in Pisces. I'll get to that. The 1928 degree also matches the dark moon in Virgo of the United States chart. So we have the United States. I'm looking at this as a federal. There's something federal here. Federal land, federal groups. When I see the dark moon of the United States chart in that 9th house, I think of viruses being traveled in that 9th house from another country, like say China, Germany, somewhere else. I see the dark moon in the 9th house of the United States as medicines, a higher learning with the jabs, because it's in Virgo. There's definitely things that are taking place with his health when he leaves, and there's a shakeup that is unexpected. That's where I'm finding that Uranus could be about medicines. It could be about foreign travel, going somewhere far. There's a shakeup. There's also, an opposition. The moon is opposing Neptune. The moon is opposing Neptune. It's right here, this square. I mean, this opposition, you see there it is. There's the opposition. And that's what I have mapped. Even at 1:30 a.m., this moon at 1:36 a.m. becomes the same degree, and it's potent. I've seen floods. I've seen mass casualties with flooding when those two oppose one another. I mean, I've literally seen it with my own eyes when they oppose one another. So we have the moon opposing Neptune, telling us that there is a change of fortunes with the health. It is squaring up with two people with communications, with the dash cam that she has in her vehicle. Period. Period. It's about the communications. And it's not only that. The opposition too is a foreign travel, religion, foreign travel, missionary, something like that. A quick movement of energy. We're going far. That's the low point. Because this is the high point. This is the low point. Okay? The other thing that I notice is, and look, when I see this, I take pause because when Venus and Mars are conjunct, when they're in conversation, we could see a car wreck. We could be looking for someone's car. We could be looking for them if they left work. You know, they're traveling, nobody sees them again, and Mars and Venus are conjunct, there could be a wreck. We could be looking for their vehicle somewhere. Could be an accident, right? But there it is. There could be an accident in the future. There could be things going on in the future with a transformation of health, a vehicle, all in the future of when he leaves the roadhouse. Because what's going to happen is Venus, Mars, they're going to come here. The sun, they're going to come here. It's all traveling going this way. Okay? So we have Mars and Venus in the future with future groups that's going to be transformative because I don't see Pluto a lot in death, okay? I see a lot of transformation. But Venus and Mars are both square to Jupiter right here. This house in the fifth house these two are square to Jupiter. This right here is Chris. This is Chris. And how do I know that? Because I know his birth chart. That's why. I know his birth chart. Mercury, out of 454, this is Sebastian. Sebastian is Mercury. And the sun is in between Mercury and Saturn. This is the little boy, okay? This is the little boy. And he is having a time with his thinking about communications, about charity, about medications. The sun is in between Saturn. Saturn here is Terry Bowersox. That's who the Saturn is. And we've got transformation in the future. So if I want to find Sebastian, this is where I want to look. I want to look here. And I want to look here. I know that his lowest point goes to Melissa. That's where the lowest point for him goes to, is to her house. It goes to her house. His low point is at 456 in Pisces, and that's exactly where Mercury is headed to when he allegedly takes out the trash, Mercury is at that low point. What is Mercury? Mercury is also the media. It's about the communications. It's about the communications. Mercury rules Gemini. The chart ruler is Neptune. And we see that Neptune is semi-square to Jupiter and semi-square to Mars, semi-square to Venus, but is opposing the moon. The problem that I have is the way that this connects to the state of Tennessee and to the United States because it is federal. When federal degrees show up, I know that it's a federal type of case. The feds. That's what that means. We're the feds. So if we look at this map and we look at the way that this is pairing up, because these are personal planets. I mean, this is personal. It could be about taking control over the responsibility, changing of fortunes with a control of school. The fifth house of kids is school. It's kids. Competition. So the lights theory wouldn't be out of the question. And because this is a major square here, you know, to Jupiter, we got to look at that. So let's look at that. Let's look at it. Turn off the missing. Let me turn everybody off. This is the roadhouse. Let me turn off these addresses because, you know, I'll be adding all kinds of stuff. Let's go back to it. I'm all the way in North Carolina. Okay, let me take those off. I've got the dogs that everybody talks about, Max and Rex. I'll leave that on there. Where's that one? Oh, okay. That's his house. Okay. So this is from the Texas Roadhouse. That's right. All right, let's look at that. Missing with the Aquarius. There's Mars and Venus. And then let's find Uranus. But see, the thing is that we're not looking at the shit. We're not looking at the fourth house of home in the way that we need to because we don't have the other asteroids and hypotheticals in the chart, right? We just don't. And that final resting place with Blake, as you saw, was with Ceres. And we're not looking at Ceres, right? So we may not be looking at the correct resting place if we wanted to look at that theory. But as you can see, this is forming a Y. It's forming a Y. So we have a good standing here with a relationship. And if there was any type of accident, if there was any type of schooling, we could be going this way because he may not be finally resting anywhere. He may be alive and well somewhere, right? Let me take a drink. Hold on. I've got a lot of addresses on the other map, and I've got a lot on this one, okay? But first I want to show you this. We're gonna talk this out for a second. Here is his house. There's his house. So we're not going to the house. We're not going to the house. You would think that that's going to go to the house because we are driving to the home. We're driving to the home. That's Long Hollow. We're driving to the home, but we're not, for some reason, we're not going home. But let's look at the other missing. The vertex, the intensity in the future, that's the one that's going to the house. Let's see. Where's the fourth house of home? It should be all Pisces because all Pisces. No, let's just hold on. Let me look at it. Hold on. I wanted to see. Okay. It's Capricorn. It is Ceres. Okay. It is Ceres. Ceres, when he leaves, is going this way. In the middle of the night, it's going to be Pisces. So if we are looking at from his house in the middle of the night, we're going to Pisces in the fourth house of home. And if we are looking at him being switched, somebody, then I want to go down here. And I want to say that he gets in the car with somebody else right through here. Maybe meets up at that God-wide church, or that there's a church here. Where's it at? Right there. That's Ceres, right? Ceres is going to be church related. So I want to see it right there. I want to see him get switched off right there. The fifth house of outer wheel. That's going to the car wash and stop 30. So he could have been switched off here or here. All right, well, let's just assume that we're not looking at any of that right now. And I just want to look at this Venus and Mars and Aquarius. I want to write it and see if I see any. There's a store, the Jamboree store right there. That's a Jamboree store. Let me look. There's state of Tennessee. There's a devouring energy here with electronics. With the state of Tennessee's work, with their work. Let's see. There's Chris. This is Chris's series. Let's go down and see if we see a church. Y'all see a church? You do. It's a Church of Christ. Okay. So we see a church here. May not have any cameras here. Chris would know. There's the store. It's right next to the church. Long Hollow Jamboree. All right, let's keep going. Keep going. Because I want Chris to just hang out with us right there. All right, so I've got an address there. I don't know who that is. And I've got to be careful. These are old addresses as well. So there's the landfill search. Let me turn on the natal. You can see that the natal is going over the landfill as well. This is Sebastian's third house of communications, Neptune. The things that we have to dissolve. But Neptune in Aquarius is things that this isn't his body. That the Saturn is fated with. We're looking at something of value pertaining to health. So this isn't the body. The natal Mars in Sagittarius, it's fated with this Chiron. So he has this Chiron here. This is his third house of communications, siblings, the mind, Mercurial, right? So we're looking for something electronics here of his, something of his. Let's see, hold on. Or maybe something of Katie's, because look, this is her north node. This is her north node. So I would say it's something to do with her. We're going to go into the Ohio River. We're going. Did we find anything else up here? Got a bunch of reservations. No. Oh, we're going into Alaska. All right. Let's look at this other one. Hold on. Let's turn off the addresses here. We got Chris going this way as well. We got Chris and Katie. And they're a little bit closer here with this missing line. All right, let's go back. Let's just look at these three. Let me turn on Seth. Oh, they're right here on this one too. But this is Aries. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's there with the missing. So the missing north node is going this way. So I like these right here. So I like these and these better than going that way. Now let's see where Seth is coming in close. Okay, Seth is writing these lines right here. You can't see him. You can't see him, but he's there. So I like this one and this one. Okay. And this is from the Go to natal. Hold on. I'm going to narrow it down, y'all. I'm about to narrow it down. There's the state of Tennessee. So Tennessee is writing this one and this one. This is where Tennessee is going to have to bring in other agencies, and this is their 5th house outer wheel in Aries. So do I want to find them on the 5th house of kids? I do. This is where leads come in, but this is where I want to find him. So wheel in Aries. This is the 8th house outer wheel in Aries. It's what's hidden. Missing north node in Aries. Okay, so I want to see these 3. Now let me look at the TBI. So I don't see the TBI up here. I see them here. Maybe I just haven't put it in yet. Look at the natal. Vesta in the 5th house of kids. There is a reigniting of a flame with life. A lot of warring going this way. It's about school and kids and all that. Ah, there's the DA. So I want to, okay, so the DA is here. I like this one. Okay, so I want to stick with this one right here. Let's turn off Tennessee. Let's turn off the DA. And let's just look at let's just look at these 2. Hold on. Hold on, I'm about to get it to where we don't have to. Missing north node. That's what I want. I want the missing north node. Let's turn off Seth. Let's turn off Katie. And let's just look at this one. Because here's where the dark moon and the moon, all of the moon is going this way. And the north node is going this way. Okay. Let's go back down. Okay. The DA gets shaken up here with possible evidence and or groups. And the DA shines this way. And it's in good standing with his north node in Leo. So I want to go this way. This is Mustang Lane. Oh, I've looked at this. This road is going to a school, I think. Oh, dang it. Hold on, let me look at that one. I'm gonna hold on. Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's Norman Lake. That's Norman Lake. Let me look at Tennessee again. Okay. You know what? I'm pretty sure. Let me turn that off again because I don't want you to see that address. But this is this is where I wonder so this would be a physician. Okay, this is a physician that I have found. Look, when I do a case, I'm going to look at everybody and their mamas. I'm going to look at associates. And this north node is going right to this physician's home. There is a physician that knows Chris and Katie and Sebastian. Do I need to say that again? Hey, April, good to see you, babe. I was just thinking about you this morning. I didn't talk to you. So this person right here knows Chris and Katie. It's a physician. The North Node in Aries is where we're going. There's Crutcher Lake Dam. Let's keep on going. Let me see who that is. Hold on. I'll tell you just a second. Well, that's another associate. And that's where he shines. Let me go back. This is a SO, an offender here. We're just going to keep on going. We're going to ride it up. Just going to keep on riding it up here. See if we can see anything. Oh, we're in Louisville. This is where Terry Bowersox used to work, or where he does work. Are y'all understanding here now how these maps can really work? I mean, you just can't make it up. There's Terry Bowersox. Did I tell you? I think I did. Pretty sure I did. We're going to go back to it, though, because I want y'all to remember when I said this is Terry Bowersox. Y'all remember that? Terry Bowersox. Why did I say that? I'll tell you why. Because Saturn was coming upon him. It was about to make contact with him. He has a 929 Eris, the goddess of war, at a 929. What does Saturn mean? Saturn is authority. Saturn is work. Saturn is work. There's his work. There's the North Node. Let me turn this on. Let me turn on the missing because I'm about to show y'all a little something here. There's the Saturn. Let's ride this Saturn line. This is how we work maps together, okay? This isn't, you know, I'm boots on the ground every day. Every day with these missing kids, I'm boots on the ground. We're going to keep on going. Hold on. I've got it on the other map. Hold on. Don't want to show that. I don't want to show that. I don't have the address of the Terry here in Indiana, but they're here. He also has other addresses up here in Indiana. They have friends in Illinois. Well, let me go back. Let's just stay with this north node because that's his work. And what does he do? What are they? What is MCI? I don't know if he still works here or not. You know, I don't really know. Shit. Where's it at? Well, dang it. Where's MCI? Hold on. Oh, that's not it. 10,500. Wanted to show y'all what it looks like. If I can find it. Now I'm going up. Jesus. Where are we at? It says bus universal coach, but I don't see the buses. Oh my gosh, where's it at? I'm getting dizzy here. Okay, hold on. Let me just go to this. Shit. Freeport Drive. Images. No? Let's go back. That's what it is. Coach parts. Well, that's not it. Jesus. I'm in the twilight zone here. Why can't I find it? Universal Coach Parts, MCI Academy. It's a leading supplier of bus and motor coach parts. So that's what we're looking at here with the North Node. Motor coach. Logistics. Yes. Yes. Logistics. Yes. So it's, let's see if I can find a picture of it. It's all about these motor coaches. So do you think that Sebastian could be in a motor coach? They have motor coaches, right? That's what he does. Motor coaches. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it again. don't know why it's right here. I want to say it's this is all logistics though. All logistics. And we've got the fifth house of kids. We got a lot of warring that's going this way. So this is an associate of the Bowersox who lives here. So we have a guy that lives here that knows the Bowersox. We also have Junior. You know, Junior lives up here in Louisville, Kentucky as well. Junior. This is Ohio. So we are on the Kentucky, Ohio border. It would be easy to move Sebastian around like that. It would be very ballsy too. Very ballsy. And the ninth house, you know, that ninth house that we were looking at, like I said, I mean, there's a darkness here. But in the ninth house, we are also looking at grandparents, long travels, a higher learning for sure. And this could even be some type of logistics here. And that is what, you know, this is we're looking for Jupiter to teach us a little something about the movement and the vehicle with Mars. Because Mars is showing us that there is a unique, different type of movement with the vehicle. The vehicle is different because it's an Aquarius. So Mars being an Aquarius is a different type of vehicle. It's either a camper, you know, a motor coach. It's possible. And I'm just thinking out loud here, guys, you know? I'm thinking out loud here because let's look at the this is Jupiter. Let's look at, and Tennessee is right on them, right? Tennessee is right there. This is where leads are coming in. There's the missing teacher. All right. And the TBI is here as well. But they share pain. They share pain with kids here. Or about kids. Katie is also riding this line. Y'all can't see it. Hold on. But see, she's right there too. So hold on. There's Katie. Leads are coming in there. There's the missing. There's Seth. they're so close. I mean, they're sharing this basically the same, and that's Jupiter. That's the Jupiter. Hmm. Let me follow it back down. I don't wanna show y'all that address. Hold on. Ah, that's the DA. Holy shit. Okay. That's where the DA lives. Okay. All right. So that's where the DA lives right here. And that would make sense, right? Which one is that of Katie? So that's just expressing itself. That's the Jupiter. Okay. So that Jupiter is the DA. So we don't want to worry about that no more. This fifth house of kids, this fifth house outer wheel with Tennessee, that's the one. And I think that there is a doctor right there. Right there. There's the doctor. This is the Aries. The physician is being opposed here. Flame of life is here. But, you know, this is leaving from the roadhouse, though. This is leaving from the roadhouse. So, hmm, interesting. Interesting. This is where she has a shakeup about the investigation, the values. You know what the shakeup is? The shoes, probably. The DA shines. Where is that? What is that? Whoa. What is this? Let's look at this. Oh, shit. Soccer field. The soccer field. Hold on. This is where the DA shines. And we want him to shine, right? We want the DA to shine. Drake's Creek. Let me take it back. Hold on. I'm going to put a little marker here. Going home, she would go home, stop 30. And she turn this way. Or if she doesn't turn that way, then she's going to keep on going this way. Gets to the red light and goes up New Shackle. This is where he's shining, though. I wonder. Hold on. Mustang Lane. Horses. That looks like a. Okay, let me go back to that other map. Hold on. Let me go to the other map from the house and look at that Mustang Lane. Okay. South Node. He's been here before. FBI shines with attention here. Let me go. Hold on. There's state of Tennessee. Tennessee has wisdom here in the 8th house and 9th conjunct. So this is Leo. This is Leo. And there's the DA. So this is where the DA's North Node from the home is going. So I like this area. Interesting. So from the home, this is his North Node. Lots of transformation. South Node. Outer Wheel of Travel is federal. Video groups attention. Gains a lot of attention with the FBI. But there's no missing here. I don't know. I'll have to come back to this one because I'm getting stuck here. I'm feeling stuck. But the South Node in Leo does. I'm sure he has been here before. All right. I'll pick this up when I don't know, it's crazy. It's gray. So this is when he leaves the roadhouse, but then as we progress the chart on into the night, all of this is going to come this way. Okay, so this Piscean energy, all of this, the moon, like I said, you know, when I first started, this is showing that there is going to be a transformation. Fortunes are going to change, you know, And Jupiter is not in a good standing here with these, with these personal planets here. And we're looking into the future. We're looking into the future with the Aquarius energy. That 950 is definitely Chris. I mean, I can see it in his chart. And him and Nina share certain degrees in their chart, and that's coming into fruition very, very soon. Like as they are on their way home. Communications. That's where I'm messed up, really, is the communications. Everybody's saying that he made it home, but did he really? Because there's things that are hidden. There's definitely things hidden with the communications here during the missing event. I mean, that's what Scorpio is. Scorpio's hiding shit. We got other people's money. We're definitely in luck with other people's money. But the challenge is for the future and the groups with school, with going to school. I don't know, y'all. Don't know. Don't know what's happening here, but I don't like it. I know that, like I said, when I first started, if we are looking for someone, I'm looking for an accident to take place with those two in transit together. And I can guarantee you when he went missing, accidents were up. That's always showing you that there could be an accident, especially with groups. You could say, well, Jen, he could have had an accident with the kids in the neighborhood. That's true. He could have, but not without shoes. There's no way in hell the boy left without shoes. Mark that off your calendar. It didn't happen. He's not going to go and hang out and play and do shit with no shoes on. Ain't happening. Not going to run away. Not going to go without shoes. That's not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Uranus is in good standing with that moon, though. Uranus is in good standing with that moon. What are we reflecting on with Uranus? Let's just, because I know a lot of people can't get over the lights. They can't move past it. So we'll just stick with the with this map. Hold on. Let's turn off all this shit. And I'm sorry for not looking at chat, y'all. I'm just looking here. This is Uranus. Let's look at Uranus. Right here. So we got Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania. That's it. Look at that. There's Kathy. Where's the new DA? This is a shakeup he gets. He gets a little wakey wake. See if the Secret Service is here. They are. Because this is Gemini, so I want to see these communications here. Tennessee descends here, so they have to call in the Secret Service. Receive information here. I don't see Chris. See Chris writing the. There's the natal. This is where he descends with relationships. Where's Seth up here? Okay, so the missing in Tennessee is writing this one right here with the teacher. And we see the addresses. Again, here I am. I'm in Ohio. All right, I'm going to have to jump off here. I've got to leave. I've got to go. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I'll be back on Friday or maybe even Thursday evening. Thursday evening or Friday, I'll be back on. I appreciate you guys hanging out and just, I'm feeling better. It's been some days that I'm just not feeling all that great, but I think I'm on the come up. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to share this with you and listening to something, trying to learn something a little different, something innovative. We can use astrology for so much. It's not just about sun signs and rising signs. And the best way to learn is to observe. Here I like to call, my members watchers, because that's what we do. We watch, we observe, we try to understand and learn, not by books, but by observation. That's how we gain wisdom. This knowledge that we gain every day, working with the tool of astrology, can give us wisdom and not regurgitating the same thing over and over again that a book would tell us. We have to expand the horizons when it comes to ways in which we can use this beautiful tool to help find the missing, to help find fugitives, to help find those that don't want to be found, right? Anyway, I'm going to close this this live out with Sebastian's anthem. For some reason, it says that I'm not live. It says go live and play intro. It doesn't even give me what the hell's going on here? I know I'm live, but I swear, y'all, look right here. It says go live. So I don't know how I'm supposed to end this shit. I don't know. My stuff is working weird. It says I'm live. So I don't know how I'm going to end the stream. What in the actual hell is going on here? What is going on? Like, what am I going to do here? Remove, view on YouTube, go live. I mean, am I in the Twilight Zone by myself or what? Go live. Record audio and video. What in the hell is going on, man? Yeah, for real, retrograde. I mean, y'all see it. Like, y'all see it. Looks like I'm not even live. What in the actual hell, girl? April, not even live. Shauna, what am I supposed to do here? I mean, what the hell? Hit Shift F3. Shift F3. Am I still live? It's only giving me something up here. Yeah, that Northern Light energy. It says go live, so maybe I should just go live. Go live. Go live. Go live. Okay, now I'm live. Holy shit. Was it not recording the whole time? Is that what that means? This is wild. All right, well, anyways, guys. My God. It's just now recording. Hit Shift F3 over and over and then hard shutdown if that doesn't work. Oh, I can end the stream now. But it may not have recorded because it looks like I'm just recording. This is some crazy shit. I mean, I know that y'all see it. But anyways, good God. Love y'all. See y'all later.
Clean like your soul, won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you, never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry